10. John Cooper on Bullseye. Bullseye, a popular British game show centered around dart throwing, took an eerie turn in May 1989 when contestant John Cooper appeared on the show. The Welshman charmed the audience with friendly banter about his scuba diving hobby, all while concealing a horrifying truth. Cooper was not just a burglar terrorizing the village of Milford Haven. He was a cold-blooded killer. 4 years earlier, in 1985, he had brutally murdered siblings Richard and Helen Thomas. Shockingly, just 3 weeks after his game show appearance, Cooper claimed 2 more victims, Peter and Gwenda Dixon. He held the couple hostage on a coastal cliff in Pembrokeshire, robbed them of their bank cards, and executed them in cold blood. Dubbed the Pembrokeshire Murders, these heinous crimes remained unsolved for years. It wasn't until 2008 that the shocking connection between Cooper and the murders came to light. Investigators, already eyeing Cooper as a suspect, unearthed a chilling clue: his appearance on Bullseye. Astonishingly, Cooper had casually described the very location where the Dixons would later be killed. A police sketch from the time eerily matched his likeness on the show, and a search of his home revealed blood traces on his belongings. These damning pieces of evidence finally led to his arrest and a life sentence, bringing an end to his reign of terror. 9. Sephr on luck of the draw. In a shocking twist on the Turkish game show, The Luck of the Draw, in 2014, Sephr candidly admitted to a dark and violent past. While seeking a new wife on the show, he revealed he had killed both his first wife, whom he claimed irritated him, and a subsequent lover during a heated argument about money. Chalanak described the second killing as an accident, stating that he swung an axe in self-defense when she allegedly tried to attack him. Despite serving prison time for these crimes, his revelations were met with outrage, prompting the host to remove him from the show amid thunderous applause from the stunned audience. 8. Lori Vallow on Wheel of Fortune. In 2004, Lori Vallow dazzled audiences as a contestant on Wheel of Fortune, taking home $1,700 as the episode's winner. That same year, she graced the stage of a Mrs. Texas beauty pageant, proudly sharing her belief in the importance of being a good mom, wife, and worker. Yet, in a chilling moment of foreshadowing, she admitted, "Being all those things together is not easy, so I'm basically a ticking time bomb." In 2020, that ominous statement became horrifyingly prophetic when the remains of her 2 children were discovered buried in her husband Chad Daybell's yard. Daybell, a leader of a doomsday-focused Mormon religious group, shared Vallow's extreme beliefs. Vallow claimed her children were zombies and that the second coming of Christ was imminent. The case, known as the Vallow-Daybell Doomsday Murders, shocked the nation as it revealed a web of death, including the murders of Vallow's former husband and Daybell's previous wife, unveiling a sinister narrative of fanaticism and tragedy. 7. Edward Wayne Edwards on to tell the truth. Edward Wayne Edwards is a chilling figure in American criminal history, infamous for a trail of violence that left at least 5 confirmed victims, though experts suspect the true number may be far higher. His crime spree began with a dramatic jail escape in 1955, followed by a string of gas station robberies that landed him on the FBI's 10 most wanted fugitives list by 1961. Despite his capture in 1962, Edwards managed to secure parole in 1967. Astonishingly, he reinvented himself as a motivational speaker and even appeared on the game show To Tell the Truth in 1972. An ironic choice for someone whose life was defined by deception. That same year, he published The Metamorphosis of a Criminal, the true life story of Ed Edwards, painting a facade of reform. But this new persona was short-lived. In 1977, Edwards brutally murdered a young couple, a crime he would repeat 3 years later in Wisconsin. His sinister acts culminated in the murder of his foster son in 1996, to which he later confessed, cementing his legacy as one of America's most enigmatic and terrifying killers. 6. Liu Hao on Happy League. Happy League, a widely loved Chinese dating show where contestants search for true love, became the stage for an unsettling revelation. Among the participants was 39-year-old Liu Hao, whose captivating singing and charm won over not only the audience, but also the heart of one woman, who chose him from 8 eligible bachelors. But behind the applause and spotlight, Liu Hao concealed a chilling secret. Suspicions arose as viewers noticed his striking resemblance to Wu Gang, a fugitive who had evaded capture for 13 years. This sparked an investigation that led authorities to uncover the truth. Liu Hao was indeed the wanted man, guilty of fatally stabbing someone outside a restaurant over a decade ago. Believing time had erased his identity, he brazenly stepped into the public eye, only to find his past catching up with him in a shocking turn of events. 5. Paul Curry on Jeopardy. Who is Paul Curry? He's not just the answer to a 1989 Jeopardy question, though he did win twice on the game show, racking up $2,401 before losing his 3rd episode. That same month, he met Linda Kincaid, the woman who would become his wife. Their love seemed like a whirlwind romance, until dark secrets began to unravel. Curry confessed to Kincaid that he had fathered a child with an ex-wife, and in an effort to reconcile, he booked a cruise. But the trip took a grim turn when both fell ill, though Linda's health deteriorated long after. Despite a temporary recovery, her mysterious illness returned, ultimately claiming her life. Curry, however, wasted no time cashing in on her insurance policies and retirement funds, pocketing over $400,000. Suspicion grew among her family and friends, but the case went cold for 8 years. Then a shocking revelation emerged. Curry's 2nd wife alleged he had tried to poison her as well, leaving her when she refused to take out a life insurance policy. A deeper investigation revealed that Linda had died from severe nicotine poisoning, despite being a non-smoker. In 2014, Paul Curry was found guilty of first-degree murder and sentenced to life in prison, his sinister actions leaving a trail of heartbreak and unanswered questions. 4. Stephen Port on MasterChef. Stephen Port, infamously dubbed the Grinder Killer, shocked the world not only with his heinous crimes, but also with his fleeting appearance on Celebrity MasterChef in 2014, cooking alongside stars like JLS singer J.B. Gill and EastEnders actress Emma Barton. Behind this facade, Port was a predator who used the dating app Grindr to lure unsuspecting gay men to his flat, where he drugged and attacked them. Between 2012 and 2015, his horrific actions led to the assault of 12 men and the brutal murders of 4. His killing spree began in 2014 with Anthony Walgate, whom he hired as an escort, only to give him a fatal dose of GHB before discarding his body outside and alerting authorities anonymously. Gabriel Cavari and Daniel Whitworth followed, their bodies chillingly dumped in St. Margaret's churchyard within weeks of each other. Jack Taylor became his 4th victim. His life also cruelly ended, and his body left in the same location. Ultimately, Port was convicted of multiple charges, including rape, sexual assault, administering substances with intent, and the murder of these 4 men, leaving a trail of tragedy and outrage. 3. François Vero on Everyone Wants to Take Their Place. In 2019, François Vero appeared on the French quiz show Tout le monde veut prendre sa place. Everyone wants to take his place. The retired police officer was relaxed on the game show, joking with the host and answering questions, but he was hiding a big secret while in the spotlight. Vero had been on the run from authorities for more than 30 years. At the time, his identity was unknown, but he was nicknamed the Pockmarked Man, after a series of rapes and murders that started in the 1980s and continued until 1994. The most famous case was the one in which he was suspected of raping and murdering an 11-year-old girl. He also raped at least 2 other young children. An investigating magistrate had started questioning about 750 people in the local armed forces after suspecting that the rapist and killer might be a gendarme. In September 2021, Verova was sent a summons for questioning, but he was reported missing 3 days after receiving it. He was found dead after committing suicide. He left behind a written confession to the murders without any specific details. His DNA was matched to profiles found at several of the crime scenes, and he was officially identified as the pockmarked man. 2. Timothy Bleefnick on Family Feud. In 2020, Timothy Bleefnick appeared on Family Feud with some of his family members. During the show, host Steve Harvey asked him, "What's the biggest mistake you made at your wedding?" Bleefnick jokingly replied, "Honey, I love you, but said I do." Harvey paused while the audience burst into laughter. His wife was not present on the game show, but that joke might have hinted at what was to come. After Bleefnick filed for divorce, his wife was found dead in the second-floor bathroom of their home, where they lived with their 3 children. She had been shot 14 times, with some of the shots fired after she was already on the ground. Bleefnick had become jealous after seeing another man's car parked at her house and decided to murder her. He was subsequently charged with first-degree murder and home invasion. 1. Rodney Alcala on the dating game. The most notorious murderer to appear on a game show is the infamous Rodney Alcala. He was an American serial killer, rapist, and sex offender who was convicted of 5 murders between 1977 and 1979. He was also connected to several other murders, and some believe the actual number could be well over 100. He was accused of toying with his victims by strangling them until they regained consciousness, only to repeat the process over and over before finally killing them. Alcala has been dubbed the dating game killer after his appearance on the game show during his crime spree. He won the competition and a date with the episode's bachelorette, Cheryl Bradshaw, but she declined to go on the date after finding him creepy. A fellow contestant also described him as a very strange individual. Alcala was sentenced to death in California for the 5 murders. His life has been covered in several shows over the years, but Netflix recently released a biographical film, Woman of the Hour, which depicts several of his murders and his appearance on the game show. If you enjoyed this video, please consider giving it a thumbs up and subscribing to our channel for more content. Also, don't forget to share this video with your friends. We appreciate your support. Bye.